Hello and welcome. I am Raghav, and in this session we are going to learn some commands that will be very useful for us to run our project from command line. Okay, so until now we have covered all these topics. Okay, so all this we have done, and we have seen page object model reports as well. So today let us see some commands that we can run from command line. Now the advantage of using these commands is you will not have to open your IDE every time when you want to run your test. You can take these commands and you can store these commands wherever you want, and you can use them whenever you like. Also, command line helps us whenever you want to integrate your project and your testing in a CI/CD pipeline. There we always go with the commands. We don't have the GUI there. You cannot just attach your IDE or your the complete project or framework there. You will have to use your commands and run your commands on your project. So let me first go to my Eclipse. Okay, and here is my project. So this is the project we have been working on. Now to run these commands, we have option to run it within Eclipse or within your IDE. You will have a terminal. So you can see we have terminal on Eclipse, and if you are using any other IDE, you will find a terminal. You can also go to Windows, Show View, and you will find terminal here as well. Okay, so you can run these commands here. However, the advantage of using command line is that you don't have to open your IDE and you can run from a command line directly. So that's what we will do. I will open a command prompt. So we are out of our IDE, and here the first thing is we will move to the location of the project folder. So in my case it is on D drive, so I will go to first D drive. I will change the drive to D because generally on command prompt the drive is on C, so I am changing it to D. In case your project is on C drive, you can directly use the CD command. So now I am on D drive. Now I will say CD and give the path of my project folder. So let me do a right click on my project folder, and I will go to properties, and I will copy this project path. Okay, after this, if you want, you can even close your IDE. So I will say here CD. CD means change directory, and this is my project path. So I am on my project root folder. Okay, so the first command is mvn clean test. So this command will clean the previous build results, and then it will compile and run all the test classes in your src test java package. So if you go to your src test java, so all the classes here under your tests package src test java, which are the test classes and which have the test annotation, these all will get executed. So let us say I will say mvn. So you can always check mvn is already present. So I will say mvn space hyphen version just to check mvn is present here. And after that you can run any of your Maven commands. So installing Maven and all this we have already seen in the first session. So I will, let us say, clear the screen, and I will say here mvn clean test and hit enter. So this will start this command and start the process. It will clean the earlier build results, and then we'll run all the test classes and run all the tests annotated with @test annotation. Okay, so you can see it is starting the tests. It is running our test suite. And just in case you face any issues using these commands, you can always check what is the issue. You can always copy your message, error message, exception, and check online. And still, if you are stuck, you can always let me know in the comment section. Okay, so this should run all our tests that we have in our project. Okay, so it is running, and you can see it is done. Build success. Okay, so whenever you want to run your full suite, you can run this command mvn clean test. Then we have another command mvn, and then we give the name of the class we want to run by using the -d option. -d test equals whatever you want to run and then test. So it will run the specific test class, and here we just give the name of the class and do not give the extension .java, and then it will run only that particular test class. So let us say I will say here, let me check, we have, yes, we have LoginTest here. So let me try to run this. I will say here, let me clear CLS, and I will say mvn and -d test equals LoginTest and test. Okay, so this is the command mvn -d test equals whatever is your class name and then test. So this should run only that particular class. So let's see. So yes, it has started. Until now everything is fine. Otherwise it will give an exception at the starting only in case it does not find the class or the command is not correct. And I will keep all these notes, all these commands and everything in the description of the video, so you can always check from there. And I will also show you in this session how do you put your project on Git, so that you will know how you can keep your project on Git, and then you can also access my project. Okay, so this is done. You can see everything is fine, so it has executed. Now the next one is, in case you want to run a particular method or a particular test from a class, you can give the class name the same way that we have given here. Along with that, you can say hash and give the function name of that particular test. Okay, so it will run the specific function of on the test class. So it is the format is class name hash the method name. So let's say if let's say in my login test itself, I will run, let me go to LoginTest 2, and here I have LoginTest 1, LoginTest 2 and LoginTest 3. Let us try to run LoginTest 1 from this LoginTest 2 class. So I will say here, I will first clear the screen, and I can go to the earlier command by pressing the up arrow on my keyboard. Okay, so this is the command. So this is, I will say LoginTest2 is the class name, and then I will say hash and LoginTest1 is the method name, and that's it. I will hit enter. So let's see, it should run that particular test. You can see it is going to this particular class, and then will run that particular method, the test method. And it has started. And I believe this was the test that fails on the home page. So that's fine. It will show us a failure, which is okay, but it's able to run the test. And you can see it failed because it could not find that particular class name. We know this failure. Even in the last session it was there. Yeah, so you can see it is waiting for this particular locator. So this is a wrong locator, I know that, but that's fine. Let us try. I'm pressing the up arrow so that it goes to the last command, and I will try LoginTest 3. I think this passes. So let us try this one, because here we had commented out the check on the home page. Okay, or the clicking on that link on the home page. So this should work fine. So let's check. Yes, it has started. And yes, you can see this one is successful. Okay, so this is the command that you can use if you want to run a particular test, and it can be handy whenever you are stuck with some particular test, you want to debug, you want to rerun, you have fixed something or you have changed something and you want to rerun that particular test. So instead of running the complete suite or the complete class, you can just run that particular method, the test method. Then this is the command for running the testng.xml file. This we have also seen in the earlier sessions. So we have the testng.xml file created, and this is very useful. So in testng.xml file you can actually create groups and test suites. based on your requirements you can add multiple tests, you can add multiple classes. Then you can add what is in scope, what is out of scope, what should be executed, what should not be executed. You can use card characters like star, etc. So it is very, very handy. Just in case you want, you can go to testng website and see some samples of testng.xml, what all you can do. And then you can put all that you want to run, whatever way you want to run, in whatever groups or suites you want to run. Everything you can just put here, and you can have multiple testng.xml files based on your needs, and then just run the testng.xml file using this command ambient clean test -d DsuiteXmlFile and whatever is your testng.xml file name. Okay, so let me try this. So as of now in my testng.xml file we are running these two classes. Okay, so I will say here ambient clean test -d xml suite file equals. Now here we have to make sure that our testng.xml file should be in the root project folder. That means it should be just below this our project folder. Okay, so it is here, and then I will say testng.xml and you can hit enter. So it will run that particular file, and basically whatever you mention in that file, it will execute as per whatever you add there. Okay, so this can be very, very, very useful using testng.xml files, and based on your needs you can create multiple files and you can run them using from command line using this command. Okay, so here it runs the testng.xml file and good for running test groups and parallel tests, etc. So you can see some more samples of testng.xml files and see how we can make groups, how we can make suites, how we can add in scope, out, so out of scope, all that we can do, and you can see this is done. Alright, so these are the main commands that you can use, and it will be very handy when you are working with your project. Once you have created your tests, once you have checked everything is running fine, then it's good that you do not every time open the IDE just for running the tests. You can run it from the command line, and it is faster, it is easier, it is more efficient. Also it will help you to integrate your tests in a CI/CD process, whether you are using Jenkins or Azure or Circle CI or any CI/CD pipeline, you can use this. Okay, now we have done the command line. Let us also now see how do we add our project on GitHub. So it will be very useful. You can keep your project safe on a GitHub repository, and in this process I will also add my project, and then you can I will put the link in the description of the video and you can refer my project. Okay, so let's start and see. We should first log into github.com. Now in case you do not have an account on github.com, you can create an account and then you can log in. So you can go on your browser and go to GitHub. Okay, now when you go to GitHub, now see, in case you already have some let me show you here. If you already have some repository, it's okay. It can be any Git repository. We are anyways going to use Git. So if you have some repository, whether GitHub or something else, where you can add a Git project, that's fine. Otherwise you can create an account on GitHub. So if you have not created an account, you will go to sign up and then you can give all the details. I already have a video on this. Just in case if you are completely new to Git, I will suggest that I have this Git and GitHub playlist, and here I have explained everything from scratch, so you can watch this. And this particular video, Git and GitHub, you can watch this one. Here I have explained step by step the process of adding a project on Git and also the steps for creating a account on GitHub. So this can be very handy. You can check this. Okay, now once you have created the account, you can log into your account and then create a repository on GitHub. So I am on my account. I have logged into GitHub, and now I will go to repositories and click on new repository, and here I will give a repository name. I will say this is Playwright Java, and let's keep it this only. Okay, I can add my name so it's easy for you to find it out. Okay, after this you can give some description which is optional, then you can keep it public or private. Okay, so as of now I'm keeping it public so that everyone can access this, and then all these are optional. I will just click on create repository. Okay, so you can see the repository is created. This is the URL of the repository. You can get it from here, or this is also the URL, so you can use this one as well. Okay, so once we have created a repository, we will then install Git on the system. So you can first check if Git is already available by running the command. I will say git space hyphen hyphen version. So this is the command. In case you do not find Git, that means it is not installed, so we will install Git. So let us go to our browser and say git download, and this will take us to the testng.xml website. Okay, and here you can download Git for your operating system. So I will download for Windows. Okay, so this will download the installer, and it is done. And once downloaded, you can just run the installer. So this is our Git installer. You can double click and run it. So you can read all this and say next. Then here, where do you want to store it? I will keep it in my D drive. I have space there. So I'll just go to D tools. So it will create a folder Git there. And I am going to keep everything as it is by default and click on next, and everything I'm keeping as it is, and next, and next, and finally I will click on install. Okay, so this will start installing Git on the system. Okay, so this is going to be very easy. Just in case you are completely new to Git, do not worry, just follow along with me, and if you face any issues you can very quickly check online, or you can let me know. Okay, so this is step number 2, and after that we will create a .gitignore file in our project. So what is a .gitignore file? So in a project, typically there are a lot of things. Let's say a lot of result files are there, a lot of libraries are there, a lot of setting files are there. Now when we push our project to a online repository, we may not want to make it very bulky, and we may not want to add everything. Okay, for example, a lot of result files and folders are there, which makes the project very bulky, and we do not want to put that online. So we can add a .gitignore file in that project folder, or whatever folder we want to push to Git, and here in this file we can add the details of what should be ignored when pushing to Git. Okay, what files, what folders, and we can use wildcard characters as well here. So let me just show you. Let us complete the Git installation process, and it is almost done, and I will say finish. Now once you have installed Git on the system, so let me check here. If I say here, it is still maintaining the old session, so I will exit from here, and you can open a new command prompt and then check git space hyphen hyphen version, and you can see we have got Git installed. Also, now if you do a right click on your system on a folder and say I will go to more options, you will find a Git bash is present here. We also have a Git GUI, but what we are more interested in and is Git bash. So this is also a terminal. Here you can see some color coded text. So we have text in different colors, and also you can run some Linux commands as well. So it can be very handy if you have this git bash. Also you can use it for any other purposes as well. It's not only for git. In general, running your general commands as well, you can use this. Okay, so this can be a good option. Fine. So now we will go to our project and create a .gitignore file. So you can do it on your folder separately on your system, on your project folder, or you can also do it from the IDE. I'm going to my IDE and do a right click on the project and say new file, and I will name it .gitignore, and here is the file. Now what we should add here, you can get it from online. Okay, I will say sample.gitignore file for Java Maven project on Eclipse. Okay, so you can see a lot of samples online. So you can see this one is good. It has everything actually. Okay, you can check this. This one is there. Okay, so you can see the target folder is generally ignored because that has a lot of results and reports, etc. The temp folder, then all these settings, etc. toolpath. Okay, you can see this one as well is here. So let me just copy this, and I think there was a git ignore generator some time ago. I checked, there was a git ignore generator where you can say, so yeah, yes, you can see here, you can see what operating system, id or programming language. So I can say Eclipse, Java, Maven, Playwright, or let me just remove Playwright. Anyways, it will be a Java Maven project, and I can say create, and it will create and show us the file. You can see this one or this one, Java Maven Eclipse. So you can see, let us see here. Okay, I think here we should select from this auto suggestion Java Maven. Yes, now we will say create, and yes, it has created. So this gives us a exhaustive git ignore. We can take whatever we need. So let me just use this one. This is what will serve our purpose. I will copy and paste it here. Okay, so you can see this target folder, this is ignored, and I think test output also we can ignore. I can say test output. Okay, Maven dependencies also, because that anyways will be wherever we get this. Wherever we install, we can just run our pom.xml file or save the project, and everything we will get from there. Okay, so you can save this file. Also make sure that you check, if you go to the project folder, we should see this file is present. So we have the .gitignore file present here. All right, so we have done step number 3. Now we will open our project folder either on a command line, or you can also use git bash. So let's go to the project folder. So I will, now I don't need Eclipse, I can either close or minimize Eclipse. Okay, also let me exit from here. Okay, so this is my project folder. Now you can open your project folder in your on your command prompt, on a normal command prompt, or git bash. So I'm doing a right click, and if I see we have a option to use git bash, I will say open git bash here. So it will open git bash on our project folder. So you can see this is our project folder, and it has opened the git bash here in our project folder. Okay, so now the first thing you have to do is, a good thing will be if you can log in to your GitHub on the same system where you are using this git bash. It will be good so that during authentication it will be faster. So you can say git and config global user.email and give the email of your GitHub account. Okay, so I will say here you can just say git config global user.email and then whatever is your email of your GitHub account. Okay, so your GitHub email will come here and then you can hit enter. Okay, similarly, next thing is you have to do is you have to say git config global user.name. So I will say global user.name and again the name that you have on your GitHub account. Okay, so you can give the name of your GitHub account. Okay, after that we run the command git init. So this is to initialize git in that particular folder where you are running the command. So when I say git init, you will see, so as of before that, if I run any git command, I will say git status, you will say it is not a git repository. But after I say git init, this is to initialize empty git repository. You can see now it is done, and you can also see it is now on a branch called master. Okay, if I now go on my project folder, you will see here, if I go inside the project folder, you will see there is a hidden .git folder added. Okay, you can, if you don't find it here, you can always go to view and show hidden items. So you can check this and you will find a hidden .git folder is added here. Also, if you remove this folder, if you delete this folder, this will remove git from this project or this git from this particular folder. Okay, so now we have initialized git. Then we will say git add dot. So this is to add all our changes, and you can actually say git add and give some particular file or folder name. But if you want to add everything, I will say dot and enter. So it has added everything. Now I will say git commit and give a commit message by using the -m flag. So I will say git commit -m my first commit and hit enter. So you can see the commit is done, and all that has to be added to git, and ignoring whatever we have added in our .git ignore file, everything will go in this commit. All right, then we will say git remote add origin, and here we will give the URL of the GitHub repository. So I will say git remote add origin. So we have to tell what is the remote, where we have to push all this. So this is where we will copy the URL. So you can get the URL of your repository from here or from here, both will work. Okay, so you can copy this and say here git remote add origin and just paste the URL of the repository. Okay, hit enter. Okay, and this is done. So if you say git remote, you can see it gives us the name origin. And now after this, what we will do is, now if you see here on GitHub, we are on the, if you see here, the branch we have is the main branch. You can see this is the main branch, and therefore we also have got some commands here. So if you are creating a new repository, you can use this. If you are pushing an existing repository from command line, you can do this. We have already done this, git remote add origin. Now we will see git branch -m and change to main branch. Okay, so this is what I have written here, git branch -m main. So I will say here, you can see as of now it is master branch. Now I will say git branch -m main, and you will see now we are on the main branch. Okay, after this we just have to say git push -u origin and main. Okay, so this is where we are actually pushing. So I will say git push -u origin is our remote repository and the branch name is main. So I will just push it. Now see, when you are doing this, you may be asked for authentication. So if you are logged in on the same system on the browser to GitHub, you can do authentication through browser. Otherwise, you will find other ways as well. In my case, it did not ask because I had already done authentication earlier. So do not worry if you are asked for authentication and you do not see the authentication coming for me. That's completely okay. You can log in on the browser and you can provide authentication, or otherwise if it is any other way you want to do authentication, you can check that. Okay, so this is done. Now if I go on my repository and refresh it, our complete project should be here. You can see all that we had added has come here. So this is our src test Java, and you can see all our tests and everything has come here. Okay, and our pom.xml file is also here. So everything is here. Okay, we can see our entire project. This is our main branch. Okay, so you can also add the branches, and this is the URL. Okay, so now if you want to access my project, you can just go to this URL and you can see my project, and if you want to download, you can also download from here. So you can download a zip file also from here. Okay, so I will keep it in the description as well. This is the URL of my project. Okay, now whenever you make any changes in your project, let's say I go here and if I go, let us say I go to first test.java. Okay, and I press Ctrl plus Shift plus O so that I can manage all the imports, or if I make any other change, or if I add any more tests, add any file, add anything, or delete or make any changes, I will just make the changes, save it, and again I have to go and say I will check git status, and you can see I have modified this and you're not yet added. I will say git add, whatever changes I have made will be added, and I will say git commit, and I will give a message updated first test.java, and I will say git push -u. I can also just hit the up arrow on my keyboard to go to the earlier command. So I will say git push -u origin main, and this will add the changes to the project. So if I go and check, you can see my update has come here. Okay, and I can also go and check the changes. So in my first test.java, you can see all the extra imports are now gone. So all the changes are updated. Okay, so this is how you can also use Git and GitHub. Okay, so we have done this as well, and we have now completed all these topics. Now here we have done all the basics. This can be a really good foundation for Playwright Java project. Any project you want to do with Playwright Java, this can be a very good foundation for you. And after this, based on your project needs or your learning needs, you can keep on adding a lot of things. We can do a lot of things here. We can do data driven testing, we can add more tests, and we can update our testng.xml file and add different groups and parallel testing and all that we can do. So based on your need, your project needs, your need, you can keep on adding it, and whenever you face any issue, you can always let me know. I hope this was all very useful for you. Please do hands-on, and repeat hands-on. You will learn a lot by doing hands-on, and whenever you want, you can always talk to me and let me know your queries in the comment section. I will see you soon. Thank you for watching, and never stop learning.